Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have been blessed and staying safe. As you can tell by the title of this video, I am going to press a 20-ounce skinny tumbler in this mug press. The mug press came from Swing Design. I got it on clearance. Well, not clearance. I want to say on sale for $119. Plus I paid for I think a 2-year warranty, so it was cheap. As you all know, those that have been following me, I originally started off with a Cricut mug press, but that was a whole hot mess within itself. Anyway, this is my first time, and I try to make my videos short. This one may be a bit long, but that's okay. This is my first time using a tumbler in this machine. I normally do mugs, and of course you can tell a mug is a little bit thicker than a tumbler. So here's the mug right here. Mugs are bigger than these 20-ounce skinny tumblers. So because this tumbler, and I'll go ahead and take it out. So this is how this came packaged. I got that from my local craft store. It comes in a neat box. A lot of people are doing tumblers now. And it's, you know, they're going crazy. A lot of people are making good money making these sublimation tumblers. I have not had much luck with them. So this is how mine comes from my local craft store. It just comes a tumbler by itself. You can get them cheaper, but because I'm experimenting, I don't want to buy a whole lot, because as I said, when I was trying to do them in a convection oven, it was a hot mess. I couldn't get them to work. So, and some people have success. I had 2 out of 12 turn out good, so that's not a good ratio for me. So I bought this mug press. So I said I was going to try it. Now, if you can tell between this tumbler and this mug, if I do it this way, you can see that the mug is a little bit bigger. So I'm a bit concerned with the pressure in this machine. Here's the image that I'm going to do. This is an image that I created in Silhouette Studio. I saw something similar on Etsy. And just to challenge myself, it's always quick to buy a PNG or a SVG from Etsy or So Fancy or Creative Fabrica or Design Bundles or whoever. But sometimes as a crafter, you want to challenge yourself to be able to create the same thing, especially if it's something that you see that you want, but you don't like the wording or you don't like the terminology. So anyway, what I'm going to do, of course, you remove your lid, and this just comes with a cup and a straw. Gosh, this thing. So it just comes with this lid, the cup itself, and then it comes with a plastic straw. Now, a friend of mine, bless her heart, she sold me a cup. See, this is how the bottom of these cups come, which they're kind of loud and noisy. And I know we're supposed to be doing this, but I just wanted to mention this. She was able to buy these bottoms, and it's a rubber bottom that goes on these because they're kind of loud, especially if you're putting it on a glass table. It is loud, and I would be so afraid of something breaking. So the first thing I'm going to do, alcohol, and I'm just going to spray it on this paper towel, and I'm going to wipe, I dropped it. I'm going to wipe the cup down just to make sure there are no oils from my hands or anything, because you know with sublimation, you don't want anything on the substrate, and anything that you're sublimating on is called a substrate. So a substrate can be a shirt, cup, mug, hat, socks, towels, anything. So you want to remove all oils from the substrate. I got my heat tape. Got this from I got the heat tape from Amazon free when I bought something. And I paid $14 for this tape dispenser. It's real heavy. I mean, it works. So I'm going to And I'm trying to be in frame, which I'm not. All right. So that's kind of in frame. So the biggest thing with sublimation, you don't want any ghosting. And sorry, my view is not the best. And again, because I created this image, I'm not going to say how seamless it's going to be, because it probably won't be. I didn't know what I was doing. For the dimensions, how I got my dimensions, I just, oh, let me scoot over. I just purchased a tumbler wrap from Etsy, and I just used the same dimensions that tumbler wrap was in. So for us who like to create our own designs, you can either measure it, but that was too much for me. So I just took the same measurements from a tumbler wrap that I purchased from Etsy. So the biggest thing is you want to tape this down really good, because you don't want any type of ghosting. You don't want anything like any escapage, I guess what you would say, if that's a word. If it's not, it's going to be one today. The biggest thing with sublimation, especially when it comes to these cups or whatever, you want no air to get in under here, or you'll have what we consider ghosting. I could wrap around these edges. I probably should, but I'm kind of concerned about how this is going to work. Again, just like I said, because of the fact that these tumblers are a little bit bigger. I'm sorry, smaller than a mug. So I'm concerned about pressure. So we'll see how that goes. Now, again, because of the shape of this mug press, I'm going to have to press this a couple of times, because as you can tell, a tumbler is shorter than a mug. So what I'll have to do is probably press this and then scoot it down and then press it again. And then I'm also going to have to turn it because you'll see once this closes down, there's a little small area, and that area is left open for the handle of the mug. So I just have a piece of parchment paper that I got from Dollar Tree. I am using, let me reverse. Printer's Jack ink that I got from Amazon. I'm using A-Sub sublimation paper that I also got from Amazon. A-Sub sublimation paper does have a tendency to bleed. And I don't want any of the ink, wow, that's hot, why did I do that, to get on the inside of this machine, because then what'll happen is that ink can transfer on everything that I sublimate thereafter. So just as a precaution, I'm going to wrap this around my mug. Well, not wrap it, because I need to be able to see the seam. Now, there are sublimation papers out there where the manufacturer says there is no bleeding. But I know A-Sub bleeds, or this batch that I have does have a tendency to bleed. But the ink release is amazing. This is what you would call a full wrap, because the image goes completely around the whole tumbler. I see a piece that I left off. Let me do that. So a full wrap design is something that completely covers the whole tumbler. Whereas this would just be an actual design itself. These are a bit easier because there's less chance of ghosting, and you're not worried about the ghosting around the edges or not getting, good pressure. But again, this is me experimenting. The press wasn't too expensive, but I mean, at the same time, I bought it because it's a little bit more multifunctional than a Cricut mug press, or at least it was for me. I've seen videos where people were able to successfully do a full wrap sublimation on a skinny tumbler in a Cricut mug press. It didn't work for me. So we're going to try this out now. So I'm going to wrap this here, and I'm going to start on the bottom end. Now, I just finished watching a video, and what she said to help her know when to turn it, keep your seam facing up, because there's going to be, I'm sorry, camera's moving. There's going to be an area probably about this thick where it's going to be exposed, because again, this was created for a mug, but it's multifunctional. So I'm going to slide this in. Well, let me go ahead and start at the top and scoot it down. I'm going to keep my my seam up. Now, so the directions that I came with, the manual says 340 degrees for like 30 seconds. And I'm just like, gosh, I don't think that's enough. The video, she was saying 350 degrees for 60 seconds. I'm going to do the original press for 350 for 30 seconds. I don't think that's going to be enough, but I'm going to do a little peeky peek just to see if that is. So, yeah, y'all. Again, this is an experiment. I've never done this before, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. And again, there's like hardly no pressure. So let me go ahead and push this button on the side. You can see it's counting down here. The way this machine is, there's a button on the side, so it does not automatically start counting. The counter does not start. You have to start it. So once you put your substrate in there, you got to remember to push the button on the side in order for the counter to go off, because it will not go off unless you push that button. And I've made that mistake before, just pressing away, talking my little brains out, and I was like, oh man. So again, this is the first press at 30 seconds. Yeah, that's a little bit irritating. I'm going to try to see if I can lift this up and peek, because I don't want to. Yeah, nothing happened. And I don't know if it's because I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to do it again for another 30 seconds, giving it a full 60. Matter of fact, I'm going to wrap this all the way around just to see if I can create a little bit of pressure. Because that's my biggest concern. I'm just going to wrap it. My biggest concern is because the pressure is not as tight as it would be if it were a mug, that it's not going to sublimate. Because one of the biggest things about sublimation, let me go ahead and press this again. One of the biggest things about sublimation is pressure, pressure, pressure. The more pressure, the better. Of course, you don't want to break or distort your substrate. But I'm just a bit concerned that because the pressure is not tight on here, it's probably not going to sublimate as it were if it were a tumbler press, because there are skinny tumbler presses that are designed for skinny tumblers. I mean, I got a little bit of resistance, but again, I've got this seam up here, so anything in this open area, if you guys can see, that is not going to press. So I'm gonna have to turn this just to see. All right, let me unwrap. And I'm grabbing it by the bottom. It's not hot. And let me see. I'm trying to peek and see if anything's happening. I don't see nothing happening nowhere. Like barely. I think this is probably going to be a fail, just for the simple fact that there's not enough pressure on this. I'm going to try it again, because I'm not a quitter. So I'm going to press this down. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, and I might burn this cup all the way up. And that's cool too. I'm going to go ahead and crank it up. Because sublimation is normally 400 degrees anyway. I'm going to do 395. And I don't know how quick it's going to take to get to 395. It seems to be going up pretty fast. Again, I was trying to avoid recording such a long video. But because this is my first time doing this, I kind of wanted you guys to see how this whole thing goes, especially if you were considering purchasing this machine, or if you already have it and just have not used it, because you know we have the tendency as a crafter to buy something when it comes out and then just sit on it. So we got the $3.95 kind of quick. I'm going to press this one for 60 seconds. I'm not going to fool with the timer. On here, I have a timer on my phone, my iPhone. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put it in for a minute, which is 60 seconds. Just to see. But see, here's the thing. You can kind of see the design coming through on the back. And see, that's how you know something is sublimating. So I feel like it's probably sublimating on the bottom part, where most of the pressure is, instead of on the top. So we're experimenting. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, let me turn my seam up towards the top. Go ahead and press that. Set my timer for 60 seconds. And that's the thing about a lot of these machines. When you buy them, of course, they have the manufacturer suggestions. But the original suggestion for this was 340 degrees for 30 seconds, which I know there is. I mean, I don't think that was enough time, and I kind of wanted to, okay, let me just try to do what they say to see if it works. And we see now that didn't work at all. So, I mean, and I guess that's just a guide. And I guess it depends on the substrate that you have as well. Because you have to understand, this machine was created to operate one way, where this substrate was created to operate another. So you kind of got to find the happy medium in between your manufacturer suggestion for your machine and the suggestions for your substrate. So we're coming up on a minute now, which is 60 seconds. Okay. So that's gone off. All right. Let's take this. Okay, and so now I'm starting to see more of the design come through. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it and do it again. I mean, because this video is already long. But I'm seeing more of the color come through now. So I'm just going to slide it through. I'm going to slide it through and try to get the bottom. So let me go ahead and start this for 60 seconds again. And then, because we have this little piece up here, I'm gonna have to turn it so the middle part can sublimate too. And see, that's the thing with these full wraps. With the full wrap, you have to turn. Now, if I was just doing a image in the middle of this cup, then I could have just put the little image right here, taped it to the cup, popped it in there, and, you know, let it go on its merry little way. The thing about these full wraps is just kind of like it's a whole experiment type thing, because here we go again. This is not a tumbler press. This is a mug press. So although the machine, the instructions that came with it said you can do the tumblers and beer mugs and sublimation water bottles and blah blah blah, although it says you can do many different things, it still is going to be based upon the substrate. So let me stop. All right, let's see here, because I'm still going to have to turn it. So you can kind of see where it's coming through. I already see right now there's going to be a pressure issue with the middle where this lady is. And this is hot. So let me get my glove, because I'm going to be done burnt myself. And y'all, this video looks like it's going to be a long one. So, hey, go grab you a snack. if you want to stay to the end. Because if you can see right here where it gets light, there's a pressure issue. So if I see that much coming through, I'm just going to go ahead and get this middle part just to see how it turns out. And I'm probably going to have to turn this a couple more times because there's no resistance at all. Let me go ahead and cut my timer on. There's no resistance at all. And as I stated, that was my issue. So the best thing for me to do probably to get the 30-ounce tumblers, because the 30-ounce tumblers are thicker, because I've had this adjusted to the highest pressure that there is, so it can't get any tighter. So I probably may go to my craft store because they sell the 30-ounce tumblers there. The 30-ounce tumbler is wider, and I feel like I get a better result with 30-ounce tumbler. My biggest thing would be what the dimensions are, because with me having an Epson EcoTank 2720, I can only print 8.5 by 11. So with me only being able to print 8.5 by 11, I don't know if I would have to make my design larger and risk not having enough room. All right, so let me pull that out. And so you see now that little line area is gone. But you see where you can't see it in the bottom. So, and this is, I mean, at this point, would I do this for money? Heck no. Not all this twisting and turning and flipping and dipping I've done. I mean, because most people sell these cups for $25. So, I mean, is it worth it for $25? Okay, let me go ahead. Let me turn it up. Press this for 60 seconds. I've seen people sell these for as cheap as 20. I've seen people sell them as cheap as 25. I'm sorry, as expensive as, 30 or 45. And now they've got it to where they can add the little chains on it to make it look like a purse or whatever. So I guess it just depends on who wants to buy. But me doing all this twisting and turning and manipulation, if I were to make tumblers to sell, 9 times out of 10, it would not be a full wrap. It would most likely just be one with a, like a company logo in the middle of it or something like that. Just because when you mess up a tumbler, you're stuck with it. This one I got from my local craft store. They sell theirs for $10. $10 is not cheap. I've burned up a couple of these. I burned up a couple of these cups. I tried the whole Libby glass can thing. Burnt those up too. So, and that's one of the things with crafting. It's a experimentation, I would say. And so here at the bottom, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get ghosting, because you can't even see where it's sublimated on the bottom. And one of the biggest things that you have to be concerned with when it comes to sublimation is burning your substrate. So I'm just going to turn this to where the seam is down, to where I can get that seam part. Because as you can see, that goes on so easily. There is no resistance whatsoever. So I know it's not tight, which I kind of figured it was. Now, I have seen where people get, which, I should have done this. A silicone mat or something to wrap around there just to create some type of resistance and something that conducts the heat. So I'm thinking now, I probably should have grabbed, I got some washcloths from the Dollar Tree that I sublimate on. And because those are heat resistant, I don't know why, I'm just now thinking I could have used that to kind of create. Y'all, I'm so silly. But I mean, that's how you learn. You gotta, you live and you learn. And so that's probably what I'll do. We'll see. All right. Let me lift this up. And so y'all, this is a whole learning experience. So you see that there, and you can see that smoke coming up. So what I'm going to do, because I got to get this middle part right here, I'm going to wrap this here just to keep it from bleeding. Take this towel from Dollar Tree. It's 100% polyester. Y'all, why didn't I think this from the beginning? My goodness. It probably won't. Let me see. If I can get it to go in there like that, that way it creates some type of, I'm so silly. I should have been thought about this. Like, really? Maybe I need to be on here with y'all. Okay, so the resistance is still not as great as I would like it to be. But, you know, this is 100% polyester washcloth. I've used these before to decorate. I think I do got a couple of videos on my channel. But because it's a good heat conductor. Back to what I was saying, I've seen when the people do the skinny tumblers in their Cricut mug press, they'll get like a silicone mat or something like that to kind of, because it's a good heat conductor, and then also it creates that pressure that is so needed in order for this to sublimate correctly. So this may be a fail, and if it is, then that's fine. But if I notice where it sublimated better on the part where the towel is, then I'll know that that's what I need to do next time. And if that be the case, then I probably would revisit that idea of making these to sell. I do have one more left that I wanted to experiment with. So let me lift that up and see if that created enough. See, because my concern is this area right here and these bottom edges. So I need to get this. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it around this. And I'm probably going to sub it a little bit longer. And that's okay. Because I can see in that middle where it did not sub at all. And it may have subbed, but I doubt it, because one of the biggest things that you can look for when you're sublimating is looking at the image coming through the back of the paper, which I don't see. And I'm really concerned about these edges right here, because it's really light there. I see where it's not coming through at all. And I mean, I can peek, I can get, and I'm afraid I probably already burnt the other. I probably burnt the middle part too. Good thing this is a black image. And if it's, you know, not good, you know, oh well. I'll just make the image a little bit smaller. That way, cause see, like if I did something like this and put that in the middle, then there's a greater chance for that to sublimate correctly, because I wouldn't have to worry about ghosting, because I'm only focusing and concentrating on that one little small area, versus this whole wrap where, because this is a dark image, if it does not sublimate on those ends, it's just going to look terrible. See, so as you can tell, it's not sublimating on those ends. Because the heat is just not getting to it. I'm gonna wrap this and try one more time, and then after that, it's going to be what it's going to be. It's just experimentation. And those are one of the things that you deal with whenever you're crafting, especially when you're doing things for money. And this also kind of taught me as well. Don't always be so quick to jump on the bandwagon, because where some persons may have success, you may not. Again, when the skinny tumbler craze first started, I went and bought a big old convection oven. I got it from Walmart for like almost $70. I went and bought all these darn cups, and out of the 12 cups that I was able to put in this mug press, I only got 2 of them to turn out right. And I'm sitting here thinking now, I probably should have applied shrink wrap. But one of the biggest things about these tumbler presses, though, a lot of people don't, do shrink wrap, because the tumbler press has that pressure to where it can go ahead and sublimate. But I mean, I'm thinking now after the pack, when you're doing in a convection oven, you need that shrink wrap to make sure the gases don't escape and things like that. I'm gonna turn this and press it again, because I'm just afraid that it's not sublimating on that top. And at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out, see how it turns out. And just like I said, I got another one, so I can just go ahead and do the shrink wrap and wrap it with this towel to see if that works, which I very seriously doubt, because this is a pressure issue here. Or I'll probably just go ahead and buy a 30-ounce tumbler, because a 30-ounce tumbler is wider and I won't have that pressure problem. So if that be the case and I do decide to go ahead and get the 30-ounce tumbler, of course I will post a video just to see how that turns out versus this one, because I'm pretty much done with this. So here's the big reveal, and I feel like it's going to be a fail, just because the pressure on here. Oh, let me cut my machine off. Where's my power button? So it heats up pretty quick. It does mugs wonderfully. Because that's what it is, right? All right, y'all, time for the big reveal. Wah, wah, wah. So it pressed. But you see, this is what you call ghosting. And maybe if I would have taped it all the way down, and this white stuff right here is from the paper. I'm going to wait till it cools off, because I remember one time when I had one do that, I sprayed alcohol on a paper towel and tried to wipe it, and it took some of the ink off. So I'm going to wait until it cools off. Well, you see it's coming off now. So, yeah. And I got these gloves on because it's hot. All in all, it's mine. You see the seam? Because I didn't tape it down. And I mean, this was a learning thing for me. So I would definitely... because I normally do better on my seams, but I mean, just like I said, you live and you learn. So this is for me, no biggie. It did better at the top because I concentrated at the top more than the bottom. We got the ghosting here, but so what is mine? So I'm gonna put the bottom on there right quick. Let me grab the bottom. I was looking for the where did I put them? Okay, here's the bottom. I was actually trying to find the tote bag that I did to go with it, just so you can see the whole set. But of course, it's not in here. I don't know if I should wait until it cools. Oh, it's cool. So I can take these mugs off, these gloves off. So, yeah, it's Saturday. I'm probably gonna run down to my craft store. Let me get you in focus. So Here's the rubber bottom. This is a 3M rubber bottom. My friend bought this from somebody on Etsy. Whenever you buy these cups, they do not come with these rubber bottoms, which I guess it's a way for these manufacturers to make money. Which you can't be mad. You know, I prefer the rubber bottom. I bought one with the rubber bottom on it before. I prefer the rubber bottom just because they tend to be loud. So I just wiped the bottom of this off with alcohol. And so now I'm trying to, so I just removed it. You see the adhesive and you see where some of it is wanting to come up. And so drop that down. Press, press, press. Yeah. And I'm going to let this sit before I do anything with it. I'm not going to. That's a lie. I'm probably going to drink out of it in a few minutes. Because despite the mistake, it is cute. And it's mine. And just like I said, I have the matching tote bag. So here's the lid. And it says, unapologetically saved. Was it a fail? I don't know. I'll let y'all make that decision in the comments below. I just had to keep twisting and turning again. The biggest thing was pressure. This is a mug press, but it says you can do tumblers. But I mean, just like I said, these skinny tumblers are just that. They're skinny. This is a learning thing for me. I would definitely tape my seams better. Let me show you my seam. It looked really good right here. And then it got to this part and it was like, girl, what happened? And see, I did not tape it down good so you can see where the gases escape. And then, of course, the bottom, I didn't concentrate on the bottom as I did the top. All in all, I'm satisfied because it's mine. Oh, my God. See how loud these are? I'm satisfied because it's mine. And it matches the cup that I got. I was going to try to make a set to sell on Etsy, but I definitely would have to play around with this more. I would probably use the shrink wrap, and I would probably use a 30 ounce. But then again, if I just put the image itself in the middle of the cup and not do a full wrap, then you know, that would be cool. So anyway, y'all, we've been on here for so long. But, I mean, I try to show everything. And, you know, some people skip through and fast forward. But I like to show everything. So, again, finished results. I'm satisfied for the first time. For me, I got better results from this than I did my convection oven, which I plan on selling soon. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button to be notified whenever I upload a video. Leave a comment in the comment section if you just want to say something. And y'all tell me, I'll let y'all decide in the comment section. Was this a fail? I can't get it. Y'all tell me if it was a fail or not. I think it turned out good despite the bottom part. So anyway, go ahead and subscribe if you're already not subscribed. Thank you guys. Continue to stay safe. Be blessed. And as I always say, do whatever makes you happy. And for me, that's crafting. Sorry for the long video. Bye now.